Yo, yo, yo. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Freedom marchers, freedom lovers, freedom family, freedom fighters. Snapzilla Gorillas in the building. Hitting y'all with this morning paper. We're going to cover a very important topic. This morning. Having to do with medical autonomy, individual sovereignty, and freedom of choice. My body, my choice. All that good shit. Salute to Insane Talk. Top of the AM to you. We're going to get into this, man. Yeah, man, it's been a very interesting year so far, right? With Donald J. Trump as president. You know, Donald J. Trump is president, second time. This is his second term, y'all. Did y'all know that? Queen Sister Cameron, good morning to you. Did y'all know that this is Donald Trump's second term? You know, it's his second term, but we treat it like it's his first term. Like he wasn't president before. Right? Like we didn't know what he had in store if he had his way. Right? It's very interesting. Certain things that we find ourselves befuddled and aghast about when we really should not, right? But it is what it is. One of the moves Donald Trump has made as president this go round is appointing Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as basically the head of the health department for the federal government. Because, you know, God knows we need him. We need some guy at the top of the health department to tell us what's good for us. As if we shouldn't already know these things. But, you know, that's how the shit goes, right? And one of the things that Robert F. Kennedy is known for is being a so-called anti-vaxxer. But in reality, and that's how they paint him, right, in the media. They call him the pro-vaxxers. The pro-vaxxers call him anti-vaxxer. He's really not anti-vaxxer, right? If you listen to things he says, if you listen to the way he talks, he's not really an anti-vaxxer because he believes that there are certain vaccinations that people should get or that, you know, that are okay and all this other stuff. He's not anti-vaxxer. Anti-vaxxer means that you are against any vaccination. Like, you don't believe in it. You don't believe in its efficacy. You don't believe it's safe. Whatever the case may be. You don't trust it, right? And, you know, people throw these terms around because they don't just go all the way to the left or to the right with things, right? Like, the same thing with anti-Semitism. If you say, well, you know, there's a lot of wealthy Jews that run the entertainment industry, they call you anti-vax. I mean, anti-Semitic. But in reality, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is not anti-vax. He believes in some vaccinations. He believes that, but he also believes that, you know, the CDC and these different organizations they're throwing out too many vaccinations, right? Flooding the market with all these vaccinations that they want to force your children to get by the time they're a certain age. And it is absolutely ridiculous. 70-something vaccinations that they want your children to have. 70-something different shots. For what reason? When I was a kid, there were like 3 or 4. Somebody said, stop. No, you stop. Get your ass on out of here. Always, y'all, you know, always coming up in here bitching and complaining about what's going on in this live stream, yet you feel the need to comment. I will never understand that. And I know some of it is trolling, but I mean, goddamn, bro. Do I trust RFK? No. I don't trust RFK because he is a government official. I don't trust anyone on that level of government. When they appoint you as the head of something, that means that you are in on it. That means that you are part of the Kabuki theater. So no, I don't believe, I don't trust him. But I believe in a lot of the things that he appears to be pushing, right? Like stopping all these forced vaccinations for your children. When your children are born, they don't need to be injected with foreign substances that are contained within these vials, right? These cocktails that they tell you are supposed to prevent your children from contracting certain things. Right? As soon as they're born, they want you to give them an injection. When my children were born, they tried to do the same shit. I said, nope, you ain't doing it. Right? Of course, they look at you crazy. They look at you like you done lost your mind. They look at you like they want to call Child Protective Services on you. Well, it's my fucking child. I don't want you coming in Hep B. What is the goddamn this glare on the fucking windshield, man? Like the hepatitis B and C shots and all these different things. Why am I giving my child a vaccination for a sexually transmitted disease? Well. Lakin at large, salute to you. You waited? Yeah, they came for your boy. Damn asshats in the chat trying to take me down because they don't want you to hear, right? Oh, I know, Lakin. Yeah, they be on it. I ain't, it's all good though, because there's nothing they could do to stop this information from getting out. I dealt with this when I was talking about the Modelo 19 pandemic and what was going on at that point. So, I dealt with it at that time, and it is what it is. It is what it is. The bottom line is, why now? RFK Jr. has been talking about hokey pokeys for years, right? Been talking about that. Donald Trump put him in place, and now he is working on whether or not all these things are necessary. We're talking about children, you guys. We're talking about children. We're talking about putting things into your children that you have no idea what it is. You have no idea what they're putting in your children when they give them these shots, when they give them these pokes. What's funny is none of my children have been poked at all. None of them. And they're healthy as hell. They're extremely healthy. Extremely healthy. They never caught any of the things that most children are inoculated for. Not to say they never will, but that's also not to say that the children that do get inoculated won't either, because they often do. I had a niece who got poked every year for the flu, and every year she caught the flu. And my children never got poked for the flu, and nevertheless they would get the flu once every 2 or 3 years. And it would be like, okay, well, they go through it for a few days and they get over it, right? Well, my niece every year, like clockwork, gets the flu, goes through it for like a week and a half. One time she got poked and she couldn't feel her legs. I think it was the polio one, as a matter of fact. She got one of those shots. Couldn't feel her legs for a long time, could barely walk, was in a lot of pain. And this is what they tell you. They tell you, oh, that's just the stuff working in order for your body to respond to it. Whatever you want to say, right? Yeah. I mean, how long do these things last anyway? What's the half-life for these things that they put in your body? And what effect does it have on your children's DNA? What effect does it have on your children's on the cellular level? Well, we know what the Modelo 19 hokey pokey can do on a molecular level, right? Eric Jones says RFK Jr. is standing on business trying to make change for health. Yes, it would appear that he is, right? He is going after industrial seed oils. He's going after all the things that they put in front of us that we give to our children that really make them sick. Industrial seed oils, processed sugar, processed foods. Those types of things that when your children ingest those, when your children eat that, it causes inflammation. It causes us inflammation. You know, you go around, you eat all this bullshit that has all these ingredients that you can hardly pronounce. You go ahead and you eat that type of shit, and you wonder why you're sick. You wonder why you're sluggish. You wonder why your body is detoxing every year. Oh, Lakin at large, we had the same thing happen to us. As a matter of fact, my daughter smashed her thumb, and she had a thing on her nail. Her nail, you know how when you smash your thumb, you get that blood clot? Well, she had that go on, but it was like a little bit more damage than that. So I tried to make her an appointment. Now, I rarely take my children to the doctor. My children rarely need to go to the doctor. Like, they never had an issue, you know. We do take them to the dentist on a regular basis. That's what we do. They do go to the dentist often, right? As needed. But so we called the one doctor's office. We called the one clinic, pediatrician, and they asked us. They told us, well, all right, when you bring your records, bring your kids' records, and bring the immunization records. I said my children were never immunized. They were immunized naturally, right? Of course, but they never got poked, right? I told them, I said they never had that. Oh, well, we can't see them unless they're caught up on all their shots, unless they're caught up on all their pokes, right? I'm like, what do you mean caught up? So in order for my 13-year-old daughter to get seen by a pediatrician, 13 years old, she is going 13 years of her life without being poked. 13 years. But just to get a little wellness check and to get her thumb looked at, they wanted her to get all these shots that she was supposed to get since she was born at one time. Well, not at one time. They said, oh, they'll spread it out. And I said, no, you're not doing that. Now, mind you, I've gone through the same type of clinic for myself, and no one ever asked me for a hokey pokey record. I said, why? Well, why is it that you guys don't ask me for my immunization records? Oh, because you're an adult. What? Oh, I'm an adult, so I don't get asked for that type of shit. I said, so as an adult, I can choose whether or not to get poked, and y'all will still see me. But as an adult, for my children, I can't decide for my children whether or not they get poked. So, I mean, it's one of those things, right? Now, not every pediatrician is like that. I found a pediatrician that did not give a shit. Like, they'll, my child didn't have to get poked. So she ended up, going to the doctor, and it was okay. Nothing happened. The walls didn't close in. The earth didn't shake. Hellfire didn't come down from below. come up from below. None of that happened. You know, it's kind of crazy. Some of the shit they want your children. Look at my daughter walking down the street, not even paying attention. Didn't even see me. Going to the bus stop. I tell you, I need to work on that. Why don't you unalive yourself, Drago? How about that? What's on my bucket hat? This is Stormy B Man's merchandise. So that's basically his symbol. You know what I'm saying? The sensei, I believe. Yes, y'all go check out Stormy B Man if y'all want some good merchandise. Yeah, I like this bucket hat. Do I know what herd immunity is? Yes. As a matter of fact, when I was a kid, we practiced herd immunity when I got the chicken pox. Drago710 says I'm a dummy. Okay. You know what? There you go. Since I'm a dummy, I'm going to help you out of here. You don't need to be listening to dummies today. How about that? Yes, I know what herd immunity is. Yeah, this is the Sensei bucket hat. Y'all can go check that out. Y'all see the size. You know, if y'all want it. You know, it's very good quality, stitched in. There ain't no damn patch. You know. Says crazy work when the medical industry can force shit on you. Guarantee, I'll go down in a blaze of glory if it comes to that. I'll take a few doctors with me. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But see, they tried that when the Modelo 19 pandemic occurred. And they'll try it again if something like that ever happens again. They will use the Model States Health Emergency Powers Act. Y'all need to look that up. It's very important to understand the legislation that was passed that takes away your bodily autonomy. It takes away your rights. The Model States Health Emergency Powers Act allows them during a medical emergency like the pandemic to force certain medical procedures if they so choose. They can quarantine you. They can put you in camps if you don't cooperate. If they want to push the line, they will. If they want to fine you for not wearing a face flag, the Model States Health Emergency Powers Act gives them that capability. Just so y'all know. They better repent. Legislation for seatbelts also. The Model States Health Emergency Powers Act. It's a very now that was a transfer of power that most people don't even know about that. The Model States Health Emergency Powers Act. Stormy B Man said, for sure, Stormy B Man. So, as you can see, Stormy B Man, also known as the Sensei, this is his hat. He designed it. He designed the crest. You see the two sides there. And I think above that is a boxing glove. Right, Stormy, is that a boxing glove up top? Go check it out, man. Like I said, it's stitched on. You know what I'm saying? So y'all go check good quality stuff there. Realize, salute to you. Good morning. Make the play great again. Why not? Why not? Bodily autonomy. Judy I says, the right to destroy other people's lives. My sister was exposed to measles while pregnant. Her baby is deaf and mentally handicapped. Thanks, MAGA. Did your child get the measles vaccination? I'm not MAGA number one. I don't know who you're talking about when you say thanks, MAGA. I don't know who you're talking to. You ain't talking to me. Yes, boxing gloves and over 2 cross swords. Okay. Mr. Stepper says he hit his 251K of subscribers. So congratulations to you, brother. So, Judy Ives, did your child have the measles? Did you have the measles vaccination? Did your sister have the measles vaccination done? Because if you had the measles vaccination, then you shouldn't be getting the measles from anybody, right? That's how it's supposed to work. And if your sister didn't have the measles vaccination, then how is she? Help me understand that. Your sister was exposed to measles while she was pregnant. Did she have the vaccination? And did the person that exposed her, did they have the vaccine?